Hi guys, and welcome back to I Speak English. My name's Hayley, and in this lesson we're going to be taking a look at advanced ways to say adverbs. So I'm going to be teaching you some kind of more natural ways of saying adverbs that just make you sound a bit more normal, let's say, when you speak. Sometimes when people are speaking they use, stuff that they've learned in textbooks and it sounds a bit robotic. If you kind of speak to a native speaker, they wouldn't really talk in that way. So I'm going to teach you some ways to say adverbs that are just a bit more natural that you would hear in native speech. This isn't necessarily connected to the Cambridge C1 exam, but it's always useful for it anyway if you want to use them in speaking. Before we take a look though, do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and give this video a like. If you learned something new today, it just helps it to get to more people so that they can learn more English and speak a bit more naturally as well. Alright, having said that then, let's get into our lesson. Alright, so let's take a look at our adverbs then. So first of all, you might be wondering, why does this matter? Why is it important? Like I said before, it just makes you sound a bit more natural so that you're not sounding so textbooky, you're not sounding so robotic when you speak. So there's different types of adverbs that we're going to look at. We're going to take a look at frequency adverbs, like always, sometimes, often. Quantity, which is like a lot of, few, little. Manner, which is the way you do things, like fast, slow. Intensity, and certainty as well. So there are 5 different types of adverbs that we're going to look at. So we're going to start with frequency, like I said. So, our first one is rarely. Okay, yeah, you wouldn't really hear a native speaker say this. Like, I never say rarely when I'm talking. Like, it just doesn't, it sounds a bit formal, almost. So if you want a more kind of informal way, or like a more colloquial way of saying rarely, you could say every so often, or you could say once in a blue moon. For example, honestly, I'm pretty lazy. I only go to the gym once in a blue moon. Okay. Oh, that's definitely me. I can't remember the last time I was in a gym. Should probably go more in it, but hey. And another example, Bob's. Excuse me. Honestly, my cat is just... Right, okay. Sit there, please. Stay. Okay. Our other example, before I was rudely interrupted. We meet up for coffee every so often. Okay, so rarely, every so often, once in a blue moon. There are examples. Okay, next up, we've got always. Okay, for always, you can say day in, day out, or you can say all the time. Right, so for example, my sister talks about her job all the time. Or he eats the same lunch day in, day out. Okay. I'm not saying people don't say always, like I do use the word always, but if you just want a bit more variety to your speech, a bit of a different way to say it, you've got day in, day out, or all the time. Just kind of mix it up a bit. Again, if you're in the kind of Cambridge C1 exam or any exam, examiners are expecting you to use different vocab, so you can try this out. Okay, next up we've got sometimes. So we've got every now and then, or off and on. Okay, so I still think about her every now and then. So I sometimes think about it. Or we see each other off and on. We sometimes see each other. Okay. Alright, and our final adverb for frequency is suddenly. Often we say out of the blue. Okay, so she called me out of the blue after 10 years. She suddenly called me after 10 years. Be careful of where you put the adverb in the sentence. If you're using suddenly, it'll go before the verb. If you're using out of the blue, it'll be after the verb. Okay, so she suddenly called me, or she called me out of the blue. Alright, I'm going to give you a quick test to see if you were listening there. So I want you to use one of those phrases that I just taught you to fit this gap. Okay, so we're both so busy with work and the kids that we only manage to see each other something. So have a think about those phrases. Just to refresh your memory, we had suddenly, we had out of the blue, every now and then, off and on, day in, day out, all the time, and every so often or once in a blue moon. So you need one of those to fit this gap. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Have a look, have a think, and try and fill that gap. Okay, you've got 5 seconds, off you go. Okay, your 5 seconds are up. What do you reckon? We're both so busy with work and the kids that we only manage to see each other once in a blue moon, or every so often. Okay, so rarely. Not got much time, so we rarely see each other. Okay, so there's frequency done. We're going to move on to quantity now. So again, we've got few or little. Again, I very rarely say few or little. I'll always say something else. I don't say there are little, I don't know, job offers at the moment. It just sounds a bit weird. Okay, so instead you can say few and far between. So you'd say something is few and far between, or something are few and far between, or thin on the ground. Either of those mean few or little. For example, decent job offers are few and far between right now. Okay, so there's only a few of them. Again, affordable apartments are thin on the ground in this area. Okay, there's just barely any of them, there's only a few. So these are really common phrases that you'll hear in English rather than hearing few or little or a few or a little. Okay. Next up, instead of a lot, I mean, people do say a lot, it's quite common, but you can also say loads, you can say tons, you can say a bunch of. Any of those work really well. Okay, so for example, I've got loads of homework to do tonight, got tons of homework to do tonight, I've got a bunch of homework to do tonight. I feel like a bunch is a bit more American. I probably wouldn't say this myself. I'd probably say loads or tons of. My cat is on the move again. Barbs, please, I'm trying to teach. Maybe bum out of the way. Honestly. Anyone else got a cat here? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if they disturb your work as much as she disturbs mine. Her name's Barbs, by the way, or Barbara. Cute. Alright, so a lot, loads, tons of, a bunch. Okay, next up, for quantity, almost. If you want to say almost, you could say like pretty much, or more or less. These are pretty informal ways of saying almost. Again, people do say almost, I say it all the time, but if you just want a bit of variety, then you can use pretty much or more or less, and to be a bit more informal as well. For example. Okay, we pretty much finished the project. The film was more or less what I expected. Okay, we've almost finished the project. The film was almost what I expected. Okay, so there are all your adverbs for quantity. I'm going to give you another test now. Which phrase fits this gap? Just the adverbs of quantity. Okay, so again, we had pretty much, more or less. We had loads, tons, a bunch of, and few and far between, thin on the ground. Any of these phrases here, which one fits this gap best? Okay, let's take a look. I want to have my kitchen refitted, but decent builders are blank. Again, I'm going to give you 5 seconds here. Have a think about those phrases. Try and fill the gap. Write what you think the answer is in the comments if you like, and I'll correct you. You got 5 seconds, off you go. Alright, your time's up. What do you reckon? I want to have my kitchen refitted, but decent builders are few and far between. The decent builders are thin on the ground. Okay, very true. This is true for me. Just moved house, would like a new kitchen, but yeah, builders aren't looking good, unfortunately. They are very few and far between, decent builders here in Spain. Alright, next up, we're moving on to manner, so the way that you do things, so quickly, slowly, etc. If you don't want to use quickly, again, people do use it, in regular speech, but they may also use these informal equivalents. We've got in no time and in a flash. For example, I finished my assignment in no time and I finished my assignment in a flash. Okay, pretty easy. I'd say in no time is a lot more common than in a flash. I would use that quite a bit, to be honest, in no time. Moving on to slowly, the opposite. So you could say at snail's pace. Okay, you do something at a snail's pace. Obviously, snails go very slow, so makes sense. Or something is dragging on, or to drag something on, kind of phrasal verb here. Okay, for example, the traffic was moving at a snail's pace. Traffic was moving super slow. Or this meeting is dragging on forever. Okay, if something drags on, it also gives you the sense that you just want it to end. Okay, it's like, oh my god, it's dragging on, just stop. Snail's pace is not so negative, I would say, it's just slow. Okay. Alright, and our next one, if something's kind of easy or you do something easily, you can say that something is a breeze or something is no sweat. Okay, for example, the test was a breeze, finished early. Okay, it was really easy. I can fix that for you, no sweat. So you can either say that something is no sweat, or you can just say no sweat if you already know what the thing is that you want to do or that you have to do. Okay, so if someone says to you, can you do this for me? You can respond, yeah, no sweat. And it just means, yeah, easy, don't worry about it. So they're all your adverbs for manner, so I'm going to give you a quick test again. Okay, which phrase fits this gap? We were supposed to be done with the project 2 months ago, but the team have been working. So again, I'll just refresh those for you. So we've got a breeze, no sweat, at a snail's pace or to drag on, and in no time, in a flash. Okay, what do you reckon for that? Okay, what do you reckon? We were supposed to be done with the project 2 months ago, but the team have been working blank. I'll give you 5 seconds to complete that sentence. Off you go. All right, time's up. What did you go for? The team have been working at a snail's pace. Okay, really slow. Supposed to be done 2 months ago, but they're going at a snail's pace. Okay, you could not put the other alternative for slow, like drag on here, because you'd be putting a verb directly after a verb. Drag is a verb, okay, so it doesn't work grammatically. You only had one option here. All right, next up, intensity. Okay, so if you don't want to overuse very, which again at advanced level, especially if you're doing an exam, you might get kind of marked down for vocabulary, because in the exam, examiners expect you to have a range of vocabulary. So to avoid using very, you can use any of these options. You can use crazy, you can use dead or proper. Dead or proper we use in the UK. You probably would not hear an American person say this. Crazy I feel like is a bit more American actually. But you can use any of them. All of them are correct in informal speech. For example, he drives crazy fast on the highway. I know that sounds strange because to you crazy is an adjective, and it is an adjective, but in informal speech we also use it as an adverb as well. Okay, so crazy fast. You go to a restaurant, for example, and you love the food, you could be like, oh, this is crazy good. So you can actually put it in front of an adjective as well, and it works. So he drives crazy fast on the highway. It was dead quiet in the room. Dead here does not mean like the normal definition of dead. It just means very. Okay, so it was very quiet, it was dead quiet. And he's proper annoying. Proper is very British. He's proper annoying. Well, you could say proper good. I don't know, do people say proper good? I feel like we use it for more negative things. Oh, it's proper annoying. Oh no, we do, yeah. Oh, that was proper nice. That meal was proper nice. No, we do use it for positive things as well. Either way, it means very. Okay. All right, next up, completely. You want to say completely in a different way. We've got flat out or through and through. Okay, for example, he was flat out wrong about the results. Okay, he was completely wrong. Flat out wrong. Or she's a perfectionist through and through. Okay, so she's a complete perfectionist. Or she's completely a perfectionist, but through and through means complete or completely. Okay. All right, and our final one for intensity, we've got probably. You can say odds are or chances are. Both, again, very common. Especially in British English. I'm trying to imagine if like an American person would say this. I think they would say it in American English, but I definitely hear it more in British English. So the way we use this is we always put it at the start of a sentence and then say what you think will probably happen. For example, odds are it'll rain later. You could also say chances are it'll rain later as well. Chances are she'll forget unless you remind her. Okay, so if we use probably, it would go here, she'll probably forget. Odds are, chances are, we always put at the start of a sentence. Okay, can't put it anywhere else in a sentence. So be wary of those. All right, another test for you then. Which phrase fits this gap? So we've got, he won't bother. You know what he's like. He won't bother. You know what he's like. Which phrase? Again, just to remind you of our phrases, we've got odds are, chances are. We've got flat out, through and through. And we've got crazy, dead, or proper. Any of those, which do you think fits this gap? I'll give you 5 seconds. Off you go. All right, time's up. What did you go for? Let's have a look. Odds are he won't bother. You know what he's like. Or chances are he won't bother. You know what he's like. So he probably won't bother. All right, and last up, our last few adverbs for today, we're looking at certainty. So if you want to say definitely in a different way, you can say hands down, or you can say for sure. Again, I think for sure I'd probably say is a bit more American. Hands down, I think everyone says hands down as far as I'm aware. For examples, you could say that was hands down the best concert I've ever been to. Okay, that was definitely the best concert, hands down. Or are they coming? And you can respond, yeah, for sure. For sure is normally kind of a response to someone when they ask you a question and you say, yeah, definitely. You would respond, yeah, for sure. Whereas hands down, we would need to put it in front of something. That was hands down the best whatever. Okay. All right, something's unlikely. You could say I wouldn't bet on it. Or you could say there's a slim chance of whatever happening. For example, you think she'll be on time? Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it. Okay. Notice here I didn't put do you think she'll be on time? Again, that is a feature of informal speech. Often in informal speech we cut the auxiliary at the start of a question. Apologies if there's noise in the background here. I'm going to do my best to edit this video, but it's so noisy outside my window right now, and I have not got time to record this video any other time, so apologies in advance. Anyway, so we got you think she'll be on time. So in informal English, we cut the auxiliary quite a lot in speech. You can also do it if you're like messaging a friend as well. Okay. So you think she'll be on time? I wouldn't bet on it. Okay, probably not. And the other example is there's only a slim chance we'll make the train. You can also say fat chance as well. I've only just realised that. Yeah, you can say fat chance and it means the same. Oh, fat chance of that happening. That's not going to happen. Okay, so slim chance, fat chance. I don't know why that is. I've only just noticed that. Yeah, English is weird. I don't know the rules. I don't make the rules. Don't blame me. My apologies. Alright, right, that's it for our adverbs. So they are a ton of different ways, or lots of different ways, to say adverbs in a kind of advanced way, or let's say more natural way, or more informal way. You can use this in any exam. If you're in a speaking exam, you can use it in everyday conversation. Everyone will understand what you're saying, and you'll just sound a bit more natural. So before you go, do make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and if you learned something new today, please do give me a like as well. Again, it just helps me to kind of know that I'm doing something right, so I can keep making more videos for you, and it helps it to reach more people as well, so that they can improve their English a bit more. If you do want any lessons, I do give lessons full time, as well as my YouTube channel. You can go to englishclassesonline.co.uk if you'd like to book a lesson with me there. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you when I can. Alright, that's all from me for today, and I'll see you in another video soon.